Happy Thursday, Stampers and Paper Crafters. This is Facebook Live number 475. It is Thursday, March 26, 2026. My name is Joy Borwedge, and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. Bert's over there. I live in Burnsville, Minnesota, and I have been a demonstrator since August of 1999. I have a super cute card for you tonight, using one of my favorite stamp sets from the annual catalog, and I'm going to point you down to the table in just a moment. If you get motion sickness or anything just like that, look away, and I'll let you know when I am done messing around with the camera. So hold on. So as I said, today is Thursday, so hopefully, Tina, hi. So hopefully you've had a good week. I've been very busy at work this week, so today I get home from work and I actually did not know if I was going to be doing this tonight because last night I hurt my back on Saturday. Technically I hurt it last week sometime, but I don't really know what I did, it wasn't anything that it said, ow, I hurt my back. But Saturday I woke up and it was just painful to move, even just to stand and to sit. So anyways, I've been doing a lot of stretches and putting lidocaine on it. There we go. I think I'm done messing with the camera a little bit. Nah. There we go. I think we're good. It's still feisty. It's a feisty camera holder. Okay. No. Move it. Yeah, I know. I fell in like 94, and once you injure your back, it's so much easier to re-injure. Okay, we're good. So anyways, I came home from work yesterday and I was just really tired, and I took a tiny little nap, and then I just sat in my stamp chair and I was trying to figure out what I was going to do today because I was going to try to be a good girl and prep for it, and I just couldn't get my head in the game. And so I came, I went to work today and I kind of thought of a layout, and then I just got done creating it just a little bit ago. So that's why we're at 8 o'clock at night. So anyways, again, my name is Joy Borwedge. I have an Instagram page at Stampin' for Joy, and my YouTube page is Joy A. Borwedge. My online store is stampinforjoy.stampinup.net. penguinz33@outlook.com is my email address. So if you wish to be added to my email so that you can be invited to my stamp camps and my events that are here in Burnsville. I live in Burnsville in an apartment, so I'm kind of limited on space. So I generally do my stamp camps like on a Friday, a Saturday, and a Sunday option. So then that way, if you wanted to come and I'm full on one day, we'll work around it. So anyways, and then also Facebook Live, Stampin' for Joy. Sorry, my Facebook other page is Stampin' for Joy. So what I do is I record this on my Joy Borwedge Facebook page, and then I download this video to YouTube and to my other Facebook page. So then that way, after the 30 days, it still lives on in YouTube. Okay, and then I take a picture and I put it on Instagram. So if you're on my Instagram page and you see something that says hashtag 472, then you can go to my YouTube page if if the video's gone, and you can watch the video number 472 to see how it was put together, the measurements, so things like that. So I have a couple things to talk about. Number one, this is the annual catalog that we have currently, and it ends at the end of April. So technically, the new catalog, I believe, begins May 5th. So you still might be able to purchase product the first part of May. Then the spring mini catalog also is live till the end of April. So again, probably you could be able to buy May 1st out of these products, these two. But what's going to happen is Stampin' Up! Is going to actually converge the annual catalog with the mini catalogs. So you're going to get we're going to get 3 catalogs in 1 year, rather than having 2 minis, one in the beginning of the year, one at the end of the year, and then the catalog that lasts a year. So what they're doing is they're combining both of them, so then that way you know that either A, it comes from the catalog, or it comes from the online exclusives. So that way it makes it so much easier for us demonstrators to know where things are coming from, and also for you guys to know where to purchase from. So there we go. And then we have, like I said, the online exclusives, and they get updated, or I should say a new batch of online exclusives gets released on the even January, February, March. No, odd. On the odd number months. So January had an online exclusive list. Kimberly, welcome. And then March has one, and then they're going to, May is going to be our next online exclusives. So if you are a demonstrator, right now you can pre-order from the new catalog and for the May online exclusives. So if you are not a demonstrator and you want to be able to put new product in your kit, right now is a great time. Oh, I see that heart drive by. Thank you very much. Dawn, hi. There's one of my downline, Dawn. And so it's a really fun time to be a demonstrator because you get a chance to look at the new product before the customers do. And part of the problem with the demonstrators getting a chance is things might run out of stock because everybody loves everything. And, that's, kind of our fault. But, if you join to be a demonstrator, then you don't have to worry about that. So you get first dibs. So we have something that's called Product of the Month. And for every $75, for a $75 or more, you get the option to purchase the Product of the Month. And it's March, so you get a chance to purchase Notes of Spring for only $5. Like, how cool is that? This is a super cute stamp set, and it's called Notes of Spring. And so when you're in my online store and you're putting stuff in your cart, and you'll see this little tiny, well, not tiny, you'll see this little blurb that says, you earned, I don't know exactly what it says. You've earned the option to purchase the Product of the Month. And so you get to go in and add that. It doesn't automatically add it. You have to add it yourself to the cart. And so you get exclusive product. And the thing is that it's while supplies lasts. So it could last a month. It could last 2 weeks. It could last 3 months. Now, you are only allowed to purchase one of the Product of the Month. So say in December, they came out with the Product of the Month. That's when it started. And that was a Designer Series paper. So in December, you purchased that paper. Then in, say, February, you placed 2 $75 orders. One was another stamp set. Designer Series paper. So, and you said to yourself, hey, I want another of December's. Nope, can't do it. It won't allow you. So I was trying to get rid of that, and that's the twine on the card. I am such a dork, but that's okay. So that is the product of the month. And then beginning April 29th through May 1st, Stampin' Up! Is going to hold its second virtual album retreat. Now, it is $250, and you get this kit sent to you. You also get an exclusive Facebook page, invite, I should say, to join that Facebook page. And then you will get this kit, and you can start ordering it now. It is 168051, and it's called the 2026 Virtual Album Retreat Happiness is Here Kit. And now, if you're interested in scrapbooking, this is a great way to complete some pages. Now, you'll have 10 pages, so that's 20. You'll have, you'll create 10, what's it called? I don't scrapbook. A 10-page spread. So that means it's 20 pages. So the last one was 12 pages. And so I hear and I see from what people have gotten is that it looks a little bit more involved in this one. So they cut it down to 10. And you have to do the cutting for the kits. So there's going to be a special video on the Facebook Live showing you how to cut everything and how to prep it and get it all ready so that on April 29th, and it is from 2 to 9, and it says end times may vary. Now, if you're like, Joy, I'm not going to be available, I'm going out of town, you could still get the kit. You will still have access to those videos, but also you can stop, rewind, pause. You can, go away for an hour and come back. It's fun. So then here you go. I'm just going to kind of show you what the pages look like. And I even heard from other demonstrators that it's really worth it to put all this work into the kit, and you come out with 10-page spread. I mean, that's something that you and a bunch of girls could get together and make fun of it for a weekend. Okay, so that is it for now. And, I forgot. I have to talk about this coming up weekend, Saturday, on the 28th, we are doing our virtual Stampin' event. And so hopefully, if you joined, you'll have your packets, and you will join us on Saturday morning via Zoom. I'm excited to see you. And then I want you to put thestampinevent.com. This is our in-person event. So I don't know if the registration is open. You could probably go check at thestampinevent.com. It is Saturday, July 18th, and that is going to feature product from the new catalog and the online exclusives that are available coming out in May. So we are so excited with seeing you there in July. So check that out if you're, in town. Okay, so super cute card. And this happens to be, like I said, this is my favorite card. And I don't even know where it is in the catalog. All right, so where is it? What I do when I get my catalog is I put the new things, and then I put all my I tab them, and so I can find my tools, my punches, my dies, my embossing folders, adhesive, foils and DSP, ribbon, the color collections, And the index. The index is like the best page ever. Let's see. So where is stamps? So on page 37. And this is a stamp set that was available in a different catalog. And so it's a returning. And so this is called Choose Happy. And the reason why it's my favorite, if you do not know me, I like penguins. So 90% of the stamps that have penguins in them, I purchase. But also, I really like the fact that you could say, you know, happy birthday, happy adventure, let's see, hope, love, joy. You could say, oh, happy day, which actually we're going to do. Hello, you could say happy hello, happy winter, happy autumn, happy dreams. Or dream happy. Dreams, nah, that doesn't sound good. Let's see. Thanksgiving, anniversary, adventure, gratitude, birthday, love, life, joy, oh. And guess what? Hi, Barb. Welcome. You made it to alive. That O, O-H, can be turned around, and it could say ho, like ho, ho, ho. And you could put that with a cute little penguin. See? That's the reason why you need to get it if you don't have it. All right. And it's probably going to retire this year, just because it is, like I said, it's been, oh, there it goes. I have it listed as to what page number it's on. And then we're kind of mixing some things up. This happens to be one of my favorite designer series papers, and it's called Country Woods. Now, this was in another catalog, and it's been around for a little while, so I'm assuming it's going to retire as well. And I mean, even it has wild wheat in it, but you know, big deal. And it's still one of my favorites. And we're going to use, and so these are actually in the annual catalog, and we're going to use the 2-inch punch, and that is in the online exclusives. And then we're going to use the Baker's Twine Essential Pack. And I really love the fact that I have a new pack, but I will not allow myself to open it until all these are gone. So we're going to be using that one today, and that is Gray Granite. And so I think it works really nice with a lot of these colors. So I'm pulling that in as well. And we're also going to do embossing. So, like I said, and we're going to use Stampin' Blends. My favorite way to color. Unless it's a 2-step stamp, then I like to color that way as well. All right, so let's get going. So we're going to use the flower, and we're going to use, let's see, Happy Spring. Because whoever wins this card can have several months to use this card and send it to somebody and make someone stay. All right, so let's get out our card parts and the dimensions for that. And okay, so this piece is basic white. It's just a scrap, and it is 3.5 by 2.5. This is actually a piece of scrap, and we're just gonna, you'll see. And then this piece is basic white, and it's going to be the center of our, or the inside panel, and it is 2 3/4 by 4 1/4. Vellum. I love the vellum. It's thicker, and it comes in a 12 by 12 pack, and it comes with 12 sheets. So it's not like you're going to run out anytime soon. And this is a 3 by 3 square, and it's, you know, a thicker vellum. This piece is 3 1/4 by 4 1/4. And then we have a piece of early espresso. So this is 3 3/8 by 4 3/8. This is going to be our card. This is Petal Pink. Yeah, isn't that vellum cool? And you know what? You can emboss on it, and then you can use your adhesive, and it doesn't show. All right, so this is going to be our card base. We're going to open from the top. Open from the bottom, I mean. And this is Petal Pink. And so this is 10 inches by 4, and I scored it at 5 1/4. And then we are going to have early espresso, and this is going to be our card base. And so this is a quarter sheet, so it's 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. All right, so I'm just going to let that sit there for a few seconds. I'm going to take a drink of my water. All right, and we are good to go. Okay, so like I said, we're gonna, do some embossing. No, we're not. We're not gonna do any embossing. We're not gonna use the Stampin' Cut Emboss machine at all today, which I'm surprised. We're gonna use a punch. Okay, so that's enough. I like to leave this on there for a little while. So if you're like, you know what? I can't think of anything that I want to do for a card. So that way you can come back and you're like, I really like Joy's card. Well, maybe you do not have the stamp set. Well, then you should get it. But maybe you don't have it. And so then you're like, okay, but I do have this designer series paper and I have this flower. You can recreate it using the stuff that you have, or if you really like it, you can recreate it by putting it in your shopping cart. All right, so I am just going to, when it's a dark background, I find that it is easier for me to get a better, hi Darlene, welcome. So I find it better so that when I have a darker piece of cardstock, that when your base is lighter, then you can see actually better. And so we're just attaching that, and we're going to put this on dimensionals. I mean, there's nothing stopping us now for doing that. And I'm going to grab my Take Your Pick tool. This is my favorite tool. This is what I call the people poker because I am the people it pokes. And we're going to put 1, 2, 3, and 4. Well, yeah, let's just put one in the middle just because we can. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Stab those backings. Oh, it did come off. Okay, and then end up in the trash, and then they're not all over the place. Okay, so this is going to go kind of in the center like that. Okay, so now we're going to take our flower and we're going to use Versamark on our flower. We're going to use Versamark in 2 ways today. So just tap, tap, tap. Now my Versamark is very well loved. And what it does, it creates a watermark. And so there's a little bit of leaf going that way. So I'm going to move my stamp and have my leaf go up now. And then again, we'll lay it down so you could see a little bit. And then I'm going to put a little bit of the flower right here. So we're just creating a watermark. Can you see that? There we go. You can see that at the bottom. And then we're going to actually clean that. And this is a sticky ink. So we're going to use the Versamark in just a little bit for embossing. But I like to, when I use Versamark, I use the Stampin' Scrub. And in the corner is raindrops. And in the corner here is a sun. And so what that means is that you take your mist. Now my mist is, the bottle is old. The refill, I just keep this bottle and I just keep refilling it. But I just spray it a couple times and then I just rub it back and forth because like I said, it's sticky. And then I dry it over here and then I dry it over here. All right, so this should not be too sticky because I'm going to use it in black. But then once I'm done, I'm going to do the same thing tonight after we're done, but I'm going to let it sit there so that it can kind of marinate and get that sticky off. Okay, so speaking of flowers, we're going to stamp our flowers in Memento. Now, we're actually going to be getting a new ink pad, and it's going to be a mixture of Memento and StazOn. Ooh, there's a fuzzy on that one. Nope, we're not going to use that one. And so we're not going to have those. Well, if we do have them, I don't foresee us having them because they showed it at convention and I did not see it listed in the catalog. So seriously, I'm going to just stamp off and I'm going to use my chamois just in case there's something fuzzy on there because somebody's going to win this card, and I want it to turn out pretty. Squeak, squeak, squeak. All right. Let's try that again. And we're going to use blends on this. Much better. Okay. One thing that you cannot do is when you use blends, you cannot flip over so see that bad one right there? If I were to go in and color this, this is going to peek through. So that's the only thing that you cannot do with the Stampin' Blends is that you have to, that background has to be clear. And we need to do the flower. It needs to be clean is what I'm trying to say. Can't have any crap on the back side. Okay, what's up with this? Maybe I need to take some tape to my ink pad and defuzz it. My goodness. Okay, so that's the inside panel. All right. I think we are done with the black. And so, let's see here. All right. So we're just gonna, this one bugs me, so I'm cutting it off. All right. There, that's better. Okay, we're gonna color those. And then I'm just kind of getting my stamping done. All right, then we're going to heat emboss on here. So the first thing I want to do is remove my dimensionals for now. And seeing as how we have that in my hand, I'm just going to squirrel and just cut this circle out and put that over there. I could save this, so I'm just going to put that over there so that I don't throw it away. And now we're done with this punch. And like I said, that was in the online store. Okay, so we're using the Wow Opaque Bright White. And the embossing, the Editions embossing kit. And this is in the annual catalog. And I like to use my embossing buddy all the way around just because I live in Minnesota and it gets staticky here. And so that way, oh yeah, on my paper too. And then that way, it doesn't stick. Okay, and then close that up. Now, the Additions Toolkit comes with the embossing buddy, the tray, the brush, and the reversed tweezers. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my Versamark pad, and we're going to stamp in Versamark Happy, and then we're going to do Spring. Tap, tap, tap. And just stamp down, stamp up, okay? You know, press down, lift up. Don't wobble, don't wiggle. And then you can dump the embossing powder. Woo! In the tray. I'm just going to do that twice. Carolyn, hi. I see you. All right. Just make sure that it is dark enough. How you doing? Glad you can make it. Are you working late? Okay, there we go. Now, one thing about this Designer Series paper is that it has, you know, white spots in the background. So I'm trying to wipe away the paper. But that was a spot. And this is just a paintbrush that, actually, it's a Stampin' Up paintbrush. Okay, so that is not... I was trying to, again, trying to wipe away part of the paper. I always clean up around, you know, as much as you use the embossing buddy, sometimes there are still parts that stick. Okay, I think that is clean. All right, so I'm just going to move this away. And then that way, when I turn the heat gun up, yeah. Darlene's here. All right. So I am just going to heat this. Ooh, better put the lid with the container. So I'm just going to turn this on for a few seconds. And I'm going to use the tweezers, the reverse tweezers, and hold it. And I am going to come from the back side, and because it's Designer Series paper, it is not going to take very long for it to heat up. And I start at the bottom, and then I just heat it up over the top, and then that helps it with being, what's the word? Worked. Okay. I mean, isn't that cute? Okay. And how you doing, Darlene? It's nice to see you. Well, see your name. I know you're there. Okay, so Carolyn's here. She's, I think you remember her. She used to be a demonstrator, and she would go to her and I would be convention buddies. All right, so we're going to clean off the Versamark, and like I said, I will go soak this after, but I need to use Happy again, and I don't want it to be sticky. So we're just going to clean that and then dry that. What? What did you do to your toes? Darlene, We're just going to have to wrap you up in bubble wrap. What did you do to your toes? Poor thing. All right, so seeing as how we used the rubber scrubber, we're just going to use the Simply Chamois to defuzz if there's any fuzz. Because one thing about the rubber scrubber is that it does, if you have pets, it does collect hair. Okay, so I am going to take Navon. Hi. Wow, I think I have the most people, 7, watching me at one time in a really long time. I know 7 is kind of not huge for the people that have like 300 people that watch at a time, but it's good for me. All right, so we're going to kind of do some cutting. Now I'm going to save that and put that on my scrap on the back side. All right, so we're going to do the Happy Spring first. And let's see. So if I'm a little crooked, that is okay. Oh my goodness. Darlene. Well, I'm glad you didn't break them. Because once you break something, it's hard to keep them good, healthy. How you doing, Navon? It's nice to see you. All right. Yes, I will be using Win Costella on here. All right. And, okay, so Happy is done. Yeah, I know, this little cutter is a staple. So this is the Designer Series paper. That is the back side of this. So I thought that that would be kind of fun to cut. And I did use scissors for my design, you know, because I always do a card for all my Facebook Lives. I do an original, and then I know what I'm doing. Sometimes I know what I'm doing. But, you know, I've done, let's see, what number is this? This is Facebook Live 475. I think I have 474. My first Facebook Live, I do not have. I know for sure I don't have it, because for a while there I was trying to redo my Facebook Lives, and then Christmas happened, and then I just kind of stopped, I guess. Let's see. Are we good? I think we're good. All right. Happy Spring. All right. Yeah, it's my favorite, and it's probably going to retire just because it's been around for quite a while. All right, so we got Happy Spring, and you know, I could put this on our base. So this is where we're at right now. Just a simple, thank you for the hearts. Oh, thank you, thank you. So this is where we're at right now. These are on, this panel is on dimensionals, and I did stamp the inside with Versamark, and this here is going to be laid down. Let's see, let's get this. And we're just going to use a little bit of adhesive. We're going to put that down in the corner, and we're going to go in and color our flowers. And then I'm going to put our greetings right here so then I know where they're at. I'm going to sit down and color. And then once I'm done, I will stand back up. So if you guys have any questions on anything, there are a couple demonstrators here that could always answer a question if somebody has one. Let's see here. Where should I stick this? All right, so here is our color palette that we're playing with today. When we first got the blends, I was very unsure how to use them. So I watched Patty Bennett, and this is what she does. She color swatches. And so I have been doing that ever since, and it's helped me a lot to decide which style I want to, which one I want to use. So if you could tell, this is Misty Moonlight. I always do the light on the left, so LL, and then the dark on the right. And then I do the nib tip at the top and then the brush at the bottom. So the reason why I do this is because if you look, the light nib tip is almost as dark as the brush on the dark. And then these two colors are like, the nib tip is almost darker than the brush. These two are pretty good. Yeah, she is a phenomenal person to watch coloring. And then, let's see. These, the brush is probably the darkest of the Lost Lagoon. So that's the reason why I do this. So then that helps me decide what color I am going to use. All right, so I'm going to take a seat and I'm going to have some water. Doing lots of talking. All right, so seeing as how, so we're using Misty Moonlight, Crumb Cake, Petal Pink, and Lost Lagoon. Now, Lost Lagoon is not in the listing of the color of the designer series paper, so I wanted a green, but it really coordinates with the pool party that's in here. So I thought that would be fine. Crumb Cake, you know, I took that off of that. And so that's how I pulled my color selection. And so I like to keep my swatch. Actually, I'm going to put it down here. And so all my nib tips are at the top. And I have the color lift here if I make a boo-boo. Okay, so I am going to probably use all the nib tips just because there's not a lot of space on here to use the brush. And so I'm going to take the dark nib tip first, and I am just going to put a line where the vein of the leaf is. And then I'm going to take the light Lost Lagoon and just color in. This is going to be the inside of the card, inside panel. And so just blend those in. And the more you play with the blends, the better you get. Okay, so then I am going to do, I decided to do one flower, two different centers. So I'm going to take the crumb cake and I'm just going to make a circle on the outside of the flower. And I had dropped the lid, and you could still see I poked myself with the nib tip, and I think I was pretty close to drawing blood. That hurt, and I said a loud, naughty word. And then I apologized. All right. And then we're going to do I think I'm going to do the light. I'm going to do the same thing. Now, the lighter color is, so I use the light nib tip, but it is darker than the nib tip on the dark. So that's why I swatched it. Okay, so now we're going to do pink. And I am going to use the dark nib tip, and I'm going to do one flower at a time, just because these are alcohol markers and they can dry fast. So if you don't color them quickly, you're not blending really, and then they'll dry. So, and to me, there's really not that much difference in these colors, but I'm just pretending that there's shading going on. So there's one flower, and I guess I could always just do this one. Squeak, 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 squeak. And then do this one. All right. And then two of these we're going to have to fussy cut because this stamp set does not have dies, but it's okay to fussy cut these because it goes pretty quick. This is called Choose Happy. And I think when it retires, I don't think I will get rid of it. I don't know. I generally don't keep my stuff after it retires. But, you know, maybe I will use the penguin on like envelopes or something. I don't know. I don't have a lot of space. Generally, if I do keep something, it is like the limited edition. This is a paper hug or something like that. Then, let's see. I'm going to cut this. But I don't remember what I was talking about, but that's okay. Not important, I guess, right? So hold your, I'm going to have to go back in and trim that. Hold your paper in your hand and twist your paper and keep your scissors straight and just move the paper. Now I kind of have to stand at a weird angle because I have a light over there and a light over there sitting on my table, and I don't want to cut with my shadow, so I have to face towards the light, standing weirdly. So I know. Things us stampers do for a good look, right? Do any of you guys have this stamp set? Oh, what I was talking about is I keep like greetings for sympathy. At work, I will make cards so that if somebody needs, or a birthday card, or like somebody's leaving. I work for a large commercial printing company, and our department is a little smaller than other departments. So I think we have about 10 to 15 people. Hi, Judy. Welcome. So that way, are you, Judy, are you going to be on the virtual event Saturday? Okay, so there's one flower. And that has the Misty Moonlight Center. And then the other flower has the Crumb Cake Center. Yay, cool. And like I said, this doesn't really take too long to cut. I know I should have, I changed the center of the flower, but I really didn't want to go too far away from the designer series paper, so I could have done like a Calypso coral one or a freesia, but I kind of wanted to stick, because the designer series paper, the piece that I chose has a lot of color in it. I kind of wanted to stick with the colors of the designer series paper. You are welcome. So anybody who watches my videos and does a thumbs up or a heart, they get entered into a drawing. And if you leave a comment on this video, you get entered into the drawing. And if you share this on your timeline, you get entered 2 times. So that is what Judy is thanking me for. She won a card from one of my Facebook Lives. And anybody can get entered by doing those 3 things. And I appreciate you guys watching, so it's a way to give back. And if you watch the replay, you can still get entered, as long as it's within the 30 days of the Facebook Live. Because it's on my YouTube, but I don't know how to simulcast on Facebook Live and YouTube at the same time. I'm not that tech savvy, if you know me. And I don't have, all that. I mean, like right now, I have 7 people watching me. So if I had like 500 people watching me, then I might invest in the equipment like that to do it. But, I'm happy if 10 people watch me. But, if like 50 people watch me constantly, then taking, the financial, taking that into account, I might do that and then have somebody show me. Google, I guess, might, work. I don't know. But yeah, it's, doing my first Facebook Live. Oh my gosh, that was just so daunting. Woo. Okay, so we're going to put that one on dimensionals. Yeah, I still get nervous doing them. Not as bad as I used to. Okay, but first of all, we're going to make our bow. Woo! Now, every time I get a linen thread or the family pack, I call it the family pack, the Baker's Twine Essential Pack, I always put notches at the top so I can always find my end, and then they don't get tangled up and, you know, messed up like that. So I'm going to make a double bow. So I would say that looks good to me. And then I don't have that many fingernails, so I just take that. My thumbs usually are my talons, and then everything else just wastes off. All right. So I just doubled that up, and we're going to make a bow. Oops. And we're going to have to play with that to make it work. It's going to be a tiny bow. Yeah, we'll try that again. Go down here, go on up in. There we go. Now we have better tail. And just play around with it until you're happy. Oh, that looks very good. All right. Thank you, Barb. Yep. Barb is another demonstrator. She's from California, and she watches and wins as well. Okay. And so we're going to take that. It's kind of twisty. And behave. Come on. Stop it. Show it who's boss. And then you can put a mini glue dot on there. And I like to take a piece of ribbon, and then I put like my paintbrush in here, like this, and then tie a knot so that it moves. And so what I do is I just pull this like this, and it shows me where my next mini glue dot is, right there. And then I won't, you know, bypass it and lose it. And then also I could put it in front and then tear that off, because then I know that my next one is close. That is how I do that. All right. And so we're going to put this on, and I'm going to put that kind of like right there. Squish. And then we're going to put our dimensional right on the back. So that it's hidden. There we go. And then stab that and take that backing off. So you can stab your dimensionals as much as you want, and then you don't get to go to jail. And I mean, like, isn't that cute? All right, then we're going to take, now when I made my card, I made spring and then happy. And I'm like, spring happy? Well, I guess you could put a bunny rabbit on the inside of the card. And I'm like, duh, happy spring. So I'm making sure that I am putting happy first and then spring second. All right, so that's the big dimensional. And we'll grab a mini. All right, stab that, and there we go. So happy and spring. Just kind of like that, and then clip that off so that they're about the same in size. Okay, and then we're going to add our flowers, our greeting for the inside, and we're going to do, let's see, that's spring. We don't want that one. We want happy. And so we're going to do happy in Misty Moonlight. Making sure there's no fuzzies. Oh, there is a fuzzy on there. See, that's, that's one thing about using the, that's one thing about using the, Versamark is it makes it sticky. And so things like to stick to it. So we're going to clean that again. Tap, tap, tap. I think that's good. And then we'll make that straight, at least kinda. There we go. Ooh, I just love Misty Moonlight. I think that is just one of the prettiest blues. I mean, that's slightly crooked, but that's okay because we are going to make our other words crooked, and then it's going to make it like it's supposed to be that way. And like I said in the beginning, this is going to say, oh, happy day. You can make this upside down, and you could do a ho, like a ho, ho, ho. Oh, happy day. Ooh, 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 ooh. Let's see if I can fix that. Oh my gosh, I did. Wow. I did not use the Stampin' Positioner on that. Whoa, that was good. Okay, so clean those off. These colors actually don't, the Misty Moonlight and the Lost Lagoon don't really change your, what do you say, the photopolymer. Those colors do not do that, so that's nice. All right, so let's add this to our inside of our card. And make sure it's equidistant on the three, well, pretty much. I'm a little bit higher, but it's equidistant on these two sides. And what is that? Looks like a little piece of glue. No, I guess not. So we're just going to cover it up. Doo, doo, doo. There we go. Bye-bye, little tiny spot. I mean, I could see it. So there, now it's gone. All right, so then now we're going to take the Wink of Stella and we're going to color the inside of our leaves and get the inside of our flower. Thank you, Darlene. Yeah, the designer series paper is my favorite. And like I said, the stamp set is one of my favorites. That's out of the annual catalog. All right, so we're going to do the pink first. We're not doing the whole petal. We're just kind of putting like a streak in there, like the veins. And then we'll do the veins of the leaves. Okay, and we'll clear that off. I'm really excited about the in color pen, sparkle pens. Can't wait for those to come in. As a demonstrator, we could, pre-order things, but those are one of the things that we can't. All right, so then I'm going to take the Rhinestone Basic Jewels, and we're going to use Lost Lagoon. And now the Lost Lagoon, the darkest color is the brush tip. I am not using a brush tip. And so I just take this straight and, straight like this, and then just roll it around and kind of like you frost a cupcake. And I'll do a big one and a medium one and a little one. I really love that we can use the blends, and 99%, I always use the dark, and I always use my nib because I'm not going to Oh, really? Okay. Well, Kimberly, how you doing? Almost done. So you got the pretty part of the card. You can always go back and watch the replay. All right. Ooh, 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 don't you dare. Okay, so we're going to take, now it wants to go underneath happy. No. All right, so we're going to put that right there at the bottom. And then we're going to take the medium size one. And we're going to put that, I would say, right next to the flower. And then we're going to create a triangle. And, ooh, we're going to go right there. So one next to the triangle. And so how I figured where I'm putting that is, I always say that, I used to be a floral designer, and they always say you put your larger flower at the bottom and then your lighter, your smaller ones at the top. So, and I've seen it where people don't know where to stick their embellishments. So I stuck mine kind of right in here in this little corner. And then, why? Well, I always use my Take Your Pick tool, but when I color, I always use my scissors because, thank you, because then that way I don't, because it's sparkle and it's kind of putty, so I don't want to make it not sparkle by, putting that putty part on top of the piece I just got done coloring. So where I cut this out, that's the reason why I put that there, kind of as an indentation. And then kind of this one created like a little alcove as well. So that's how I like to design my cards. Thank you, Tina. All right, so we got the Wink of Stella going on. And we have Oh Happy Day. Thank you, Judy. I just used the Designer Series paper to as my guide. Even when I'm designing a card, if I am just kind of like stuck, okay, I'll look through the catalog, and even through paper, like Designer Series paper that I don't own, I just might take those color collections. So let's see, DSP. Tools, punches, dies, embossing folder, DSP. So I don't own this paper, but it tells me that Lost Lagoon, Misty Moonlight, Mossy Meadow, Petunia Pop, Pretty Peacock, and Wild Wheat. Now, we don't have Wild Wheat, but we do have Darling Duckling, which is similar. So what I could do is get all the cardstock, and I own all the colors, okay? I can't design and not have colors. So I'll take the colors and I'll put them, right next to each other, and then just think of which ones I want to use. So when I took the Country Woods Designer Series paper, that's where I got this from. And I made sure that when I colored the flower in, that, I put it on the paper to see, did it pick up the darker tones in that? And it turned out really nice. And like I said, this piece is the back side. So when I used the Versamark and used the white, I knew that there was a little bit of white in this Designer Series paper, so I knew that that would look good. So that's how I use a lot of my colors, is I take it from the paper. And like I said, you don't even have to own paper to get the good colors. I mean, this is Basic Beige, Crumb Cake, Lost Lagoon, Mossy Meadow, Peach Pie, and Secret Sea. And you can literally take all those cardstocks and put them together and just say, okay, I'm going to use this one, I'm going to use this one, and I'm going to use this one. So that is how I go about choosing color. So guys, if you want to get a chance to win this card, okay, number one, do a thumbs up and a heart, or a heart. You can do one or the other, or you can do both if you want. I'm not picky. That will get your name in the drawing to win this card. And then leave a comment. Oh, thank you. That is very sweet of you. Leave a comment, and it could say hi. Now, if you're watching the replay, you could, leave a comment too. That's still, I go back in and I read, and I don't know what is sticky right there. So I'm just going to take that off. And then if you share this on your timeline, number one, you're helping me out. You're getting my name out there. And there might be a paper crafter on your timeline that maybe hasn't touched their stuff in a long time. Maybe seeing this video might inspire them to make a card, send a card, and then make someone stay. I love that. So when you guys watch my videos and you get that card in the mail, just think, you winning that card, you could take that card and send it to someone, and you would know exactly how they feel because you won. And, another thing is you could copy it, you could create it, and then, keep one as, an idea for you. And then, or you can mail both of them. So thank you guys for hanging out with me on a Thursday evening. I go live on Sundays after 5 o'clock and on Thursdays. At least I try on Thursdays after 5 o'clock. And I generally leave about a half an hour message, just saying, hey, going live in a half an hour, roughly. And then we create a card. And then somebody wins it in about 30 days. So you guys, thank you for hanging out with me. I love being able to share this with you. And I love you talking back to me and having a conversation. Creating this community just makes my heart sing. So it gives me purpose. Thank you. Have a great weekend and happy stamping.